Hostages in Counter-Strike don't have a particularly great life. For a while, rescuing them didn't even win you the round, so obviously nobody bothered.
Let's go.
Then they became these idiot 7-foot monsters who'd get lost if left for a moment. Idiots. In Condition Zero, they had a mind of their own and would take off around the map if not kept in check by terrorists. And they were such pussies.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going. Oh, please don't. I'm sorry, I'll go. I'm sorry.
The reality of it was that they would run into and die in firefights by mistake, or to someone really annoying for everybody, so I think everybody resented them in that game too.
I'm sorry.
For Counter-Strike Source, they returned back to 1.6 logic again. Only the hostages were now normal sized and ran at alarming speed and with great momentum, often knocking into one another and overrunning where they were meant to reach. They were quite scary, and leading them back to spawn felt a bit like trying to command a bunch of toddlers high on energy drinks. But there was one saving grace. You only needed to save some of them, meaning that as long as you had saved some of them, you could murder the rest and still win the round. God, I miss those days. Then for CSGO, Valve stripped them of their legs and humanity by making them static and invincible. They became just a burden that we had to carry, sort of like Frodo in all 3 movies. And who can forget those creepy sounds they made?
Hostage has been rescued.
And then for a short while they found themselves being chucked through windows and plummeting to their carriers' deaths. What sort of monster would make such a thing?
Hostage has been rescued.
But now, for CS2, the hostage model has been blessed with 4 remade designs, adding more variety to the hostage models than there was previously. Funnily enough, CSGO also had 4 different hostage models, but they all looked so similar that you wouldn't have noticed. All of them had a headband on of some kind. Whether this is to conceal an injury or simply to stop them from seeing is unclear. I would have assumed the latter, but the terrorists have left no eye unpunched. Their eyes have taken quite a beating, to the point where it's barely worth blinding them with a bloody bandana as well. So let's quickly introduce them to you. There's this poor soul with his eyes and mouth covered and what looks to be blood streaming down his face. Then there's his twin brother, who's clearly the favourite because there's not so much blood and he's not wearing a mouth cover. Then there's his other twin brother, who has been lucky enough to be featured as a hostage in CS2 as well. And then there's this guy, who might be the dad of the other 3. Or is just the very unlucky hostage who has been left unrescued in every game of CS ever played in the last 20 years. Pick your own law. And CS2's latest update has swapped them all out for 4 much more diverse hostages who will actually be able to tell the differences between. It's like the cast of Left 4 Dead 3 or something. Their bodies are also much higher in res, and are sat a lot more comfortably. So comfortably, in fact, that they no longer move. At all. In CS2, they're all like statues. And here's a view of their dirty hands and feet. The new female model has a unique body design, complete with thinner hands and daintier, but still very dirty, feet. They've really gone to town with the detail here, modelling the awkward foot posture and every single twisted toe individually. This better not awaken anything in any of you. And I've only just noticed that the old hostage model had managed to slip one of his hands out of the knot. Valve, please fix. Thank you. So, without further ado, let's see how pitiful these new models are, because for some reason I suddenly care about them. I don't actually know why. Maybe I've never stopped to think how pitiful they all looked before, nor how dirty and disgusting their feet have always been. So, of the 4 new hostage models, which is the least pitiful? I'm not racist, but in at number 4 is this guy. He just has no cuts on him, no plasters, his eyes are open and they look fine. I mean, his eyes don't exactly look happy, but put a book in front of him and it looks like he could be reading it. Put that in front of this model and it looks like she's read something very sad. This guy looks like he's endured a book from the Twilight series. And this one, all 14. Elsewhere, sure he has some cuts on his arms, but so do the other 2 male hostage models. All this guy seems to have had done to him is duct tape put across his mouth. And it isn't even a dirty bit. It's a clean and beautifully cut bit of duct tape. I couldn't do it this clean. The question we have to ask is, why has his mouth been duct taped? None of the others have. Is it because he kept shouting for help or pleading for mercy? Maybe he was begging them because he had a wife and kids and they felt bad so they shut him up. I mean, personally, I don't know why somebody with children deserves better treatment than anyone else, but what do I know? Well, I know they didn't duct tape his mouth too well because he can still do this. But until I did that, this guy got off better than the others, so unless the duct tape is there to hide the fact they pulled out all his teeth, he's got out of this situation injury-free. At least until the duct tape is ripped off and he gets himself a mouth Brazilian. In at number 3, being a bit more pitiful, is this guy with the haunting expression. He's in pain, emotionally and physically. His glasses have been broken and we know that stuff isn't cheap. and he has a plaster, meaning he sustained a cut, but at least his captors cared enough to patch him up again. Either that or he's got a tiny second mouth up there, begging them because he's got a wife and... Pained expression, plaster. Could be an older Max Payne for all we know. So, in at number 2, is it the man with the bashed up face, or the woman? The woman. She, like the man with the pained expression, has a plaster, but she also has a head bandage wrap thing, suggesting further injury of some kind. But if you disagree, rather than telling me I'm wrong here, tell me I'm wrong on Twitter instead. I even have a very exciting poll set up where people are currently debating the possibilities in even more ways than this video could ever cover. But okay, let's assume it's a blindfold. The saddest detail, for me, is that she's been crying and that her mascara has run down her cheek. What a sad detail. But maybe I'm showing my prejudices here. I didn't assume this male hostage in CSGO had been crying. At least, nothing but blood. But this woman, her injuries, her teary mascara, and that subtly miserable expression where she appears to have accepted her fate, is tragic. Unrelated point, although her body looks different, her voice sounds oddly familiar. But all this means that number 1 for being the most pitiful hostage is this guy, the one we had previously. And just to put things into perspective, imagine how you'd feel had the woman had her face bashed in like this. Because he's sustained cuts, clearly in need of plasters, but hasn't received one. He's got a bruised lip, his good eye looks like it's been beaten to a pulp, so what the hell must the other look like? Maybe it isn't an eye anymore, maybe it's a second, smaller mouth. This guy has taken a royal pounding in possibly more than one way, but he isn't crying, he's not grimacing like that other guy, he's past all that. He doesn't even look sad anymore, he's just there, waiting for you to rescue him, but he knows you never will. Just like you never rescued him back in CSGO. No, you just ignored him, used him as a meat shield and set fire to him. In every hostage game in the last 10 years of playing. And now with CS2 here and his recent facelift, he may have to endure 10 more.
Don't leave.